bacon está suyo.
You guys gotta try this.
All right, welcome back, my beautiful people, to STR News and Digest, where we dive into everything related to short-term rentals, the travel industry, and the hospitality industry. Today, I have a very short show. I've been extremely busy with a bunch of new projects, and it really has been a very slow news week. There's a couple of things I want to touch on. Just to give you a quick rundown of today's topics, we're going to talk about some Airbnb hacks to boost reviews and revenue. We're going to talk about U.S. markets, where to buy an STR in 2025. We're going to talk about the JetBlue and United Airlines kind of merger. It's not really a merger, it's just a merger of their points, but what's happening there? There was a big, if you recall, there was a big fight, and Spirit was one of the front runners in pushing into this or breaking up this union. We're going to talk about Royal Caribbean's shift to last-minute bookings, and then loyalty programs and travel trends that are reshaping the industry. Now, as always, my beautiful people, if you have any questions or comment, please list them. Lorena will go ahead and pass them to me if there's any questions that I need to answer. But if you're live on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube, do me a quick favor right off the bat and say hi. I'm going to see who's out there, because I can't see the actual people. I can see the numbers, but when someone comments, I can actually see that. So do me a favor and comment. And let's get right into the first segment. We're going to talk about the Airbnb, some hacks that for me have worked. And we're getting, summer's practically over. We're going into the slowest months, which is the second half of August and September. And for most people in the U.S., that is going to be a very slow month, mainly because school's back in session. People are getting back into the rhythm of school with their kids, and less people are traveling, especially during that time. Most people travel, if you're not aware, most people travel in the summer months, specifically July. So a lot of people already got their travel in, and to travel in the beginning of August and definitely September is usually not a thing. So one of the things that I do, and one of the things that I've read in several places, and a lot of people are adopting this strategy, is through we all know that pricing matters, but let's use pricing like a lot of companies do, with a psychological effect. And here's what I mean by a psychological effect, right? So let's say your pricing or your daily rate, your ideal daily rate for a specific unit, let's say it's $200 a night. So just change that from $200 to $199, or you can even do $199.99 cents, right? $199.99, right? That the mere fact that you're not showing a 2 and the first number is a 1 has a psychological effect on people. And if you don't believe me, just look at the major brands out there, and you'll see that a lot of them, the cost of something is going to be, it's going to be that 0.99 cents. So again, it's either going to be $19.99 or $9.99, right? So it's called the 0.99 effect. I think it's a great strategy. I've been using the strategy Again, like I've always said, I am not the smartest person on the planet, but if major companies are doing something, I pay attention. And when you go to a store and you look at pricing, especially when it's something new, it always ends in that 0.99, or the great majority of the time ends in that 0.99. Now, the next quick hack that I recommend is called first impression fixers. Things like lighting, the pre-check-in message, that welcome basket. These first impression, what's referred to as fixers, are extremely important, especially if you have a property that is not an A+ property, that there's, it needs some either some upgrading, or the neighborhood isn't so great. Do something, and this is why we call it a fixer, because when they walk into when they first walk into your property, that's where you want to make that big first impression. Now, keep in mind, these impressions and the actual work starts even before they book your property. I mentioned before, if you get an inquiry, reply to that inquiry as quickly as possible. One of the reasons why we went to AI for our customer service is because I wanted that immediate response, right? So that first point of contact is hugely important to get the booking. Once you get the booking, before they come, having the open lines of communications is important. And then when they get to the house, when they walk in, does it smell good, right? Does it look clean? Do you have a welcome basket for them? These little details go a very long way. The last hack that I want to talk about, and I just kind of mentioned it, is going to be automation, right? You want AI to be part of your customer service. You want that smart lock that all you have to do is give that guest a code, right? There's certain things that you want to make your life easier. You want that robust PMS system like Hostfully. Hostfully will make your life a whole lot easier, right? You want that digital guidebook that will help answer many of the questions a guest may have. So automation will save time, and it will also give that guest, it will enhance that guest experience. Super important. All right, next, I want to talk about buying in today's market, right? I talked about this before. Like me personally, in order for me to buy a residential home in the South Florida area to convert as a short-term rental today, I have to have a phenomenal deal. Why? Because the residential market, in my opinion, is saturated here in South Florida. There's way too many short-term rentals, although if you follow this channel, and you should, if you're not following it, subscribe, right? But if you follow, you know that we are starting to see a decrease in available listings, right? Unlike the Q1, 2, and 3 of 2024, where the available listings were crazy high. Today, we're starting to see a slow reduction in those listings. But going back to where, if you're going to invest, and where are you going to invest? I'm going to give you 3 markets. And these are known markets. There's nothing new here. They've been around for a very long time, but they're proven markets, right? And right now, because of the price points of the residential properties there, I think this is a good buy, right? Because right now, the price points in South Florida are super high compared to these locations. The first one's going to be Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. It's great for year-round demand and for family travelers. So if you're looking for a residential home that's going to cater to a family, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina is the place I would be looking at. Next, again, this is another one that's been around for a while. It's Scottsdale, Arizona. There's a high-end market there with a strong ROI potential, in Scottsdale, Arizona. Now, it's a specific niche there, right? It's more towards those that are looking to cater to the luxury market, right? And as I mentioned, right now, premium and luxury, it's what's hot. Everyone's following the premium and market, the premium and luxury markets, right? You look what's happening with Southwest Airlines, with JetBlue, Spirit, right? They're not going budget anymore. They want to be a little bit more mainstream and cater to that premium experience. So that's a market that I would go into. The last one, and again, for me, this is a proven market, and that is Gatlinburg, Tennessee, right? There's an affordable entry point compared to the other places I just mentioned. And because of the national parks there, you have a consistent occupancy rate. I believe it's still a very good investment point. So those are the three markets that I kind of recommend.
Fernando.
Yes.
Here in Instagram, they ask, like, how do you see the future of the Florida market, the real estate market in Florida? How do you see the future?
Here's how I see it right now in the near future for the South Florida market, period. And I'm going to take out the condo industry. We're going to exclude the condo industry here because there's a lot of issues in the condo market. I would not get into the condo. First of all, I never got into the condo market because I don't buy an HOA. I don't recommend anyone ever buying an HOA. I don't know why people do it, but never buying an HOA. HOA, when you do, HOA holds the power. They have more power than the government when it comes to your property, on what you do and how you do it in your property. Don't buy an HOA, right? But let's talk residential. In South Florida, if you look at the market today, we're still increasing in value, which for me boggles the mind, because where is the tipping point, right? I said for many years that Florida was undervalued. And I've said this for at least a decade, how undervalued Florida was. And for those of you that listen to me, then I pat you on the back because you have done phenomenal in the real estate market here in South Florida. For those of you that didn't listen to me, well, you are behind the 8 ball, because right now, again, back when I was buying a lot of properties in South Florida, 300,000 was like the top end. You can't find anything for 300,000 today. So can you still buy here and be okay? Yes, you can. I firmly believe. But you're not going to see those massive jumps in equity that we saw in the past decade or even before that, right? It's going to be more stable, and you're starting to see it. And in addition to that, once the interest rates go down, I'm telling you, once the interest rates go down, expect another buying boom, and you're going to see another increase in real estate. So, like the saying goes, don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait, right? Buy real estate and hold it, because in the long run, you're going to be well off. Okay, hope I answered that question. Let me go. Where was I? Okay, that JetBlue and the United Airline partnership finally got a green light from Congress, right? Or from the government. So DOT just approved a partnership between United Airlines and JetBlue. Now, what does this mean this means for us as short-term rental operators and travelers? For me, I said this before when they were talking about this merger. For me, this is huge, right? Especially as a person that travels a lot. This is big for me. There's more connected flights now. There's going to be increased accessibility in the market. You're going to be able to streamline your loyalty perks. So if you're Mosaic in JetBlue or your hold status in United, now you're going to be able to cross cross-pollinate both. There was a reason why a lot of airlines, specifically Spirit, was fighting against this. This gives JetBlue and United Airline a big advantage in the market. So it's a big win for them, and it's a big win for us. And the other thing that I'm going to mention is that there's a side story with Spirit in a second. But the other thing I'm going to mention is that because now we have more availability in terms of routes, you're going to see that JetBlue is going to be entering areas in which they didn't before, and vice versa with United. Now, having said that, because I just forgot, I just remembered, if you live in South Florida and you have properties in Georgia like I do, or you have family in Georgia, right now, JetBlue opened up a new route from Fort Lauderdale to Macon, Georgia for $49. How long that's going to last, I have no idea. But for me, this is huge because I would normally drive to my property in Georgia because the cheapest way to get there by air would be flying from Fort Lauderdale to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta taking the small plane to Valdosta, which makes it an all-day affair. And it's not cheap. It wasn't cheap. It was pretty expensive to do so. But now we can fly from here to Macon. From Macon to my property it's like an hour or something. So it makes this really easy, really accessible for $49. Anyway, the next one I want to talk about is Royal Caribbean plans to shake up their loyalty program. Now, the details are a little sketchy right now, but Royal Caribbean, it's seeing what I've been seeing in a long time in the travel market. So, and I'm going to explain it so that you understand. For us, I've been noticing, especially in the last 2 years, that more and more people are traveling last minute. People are not booking trips a year in advance like they used to. I used to go into a new year having probably 40% of my properties booked in that new year. So like now going into 2025, if we were in December going into January, I would guarantee you, several years ago that January, February, March, all the way up to July, that first 6 months, I would have at least 40% of my properties occupied. Today, that is not the case. Today, our average book lead time is only 10 days. And as a travel agent, I can tell you, people are calling me all the time for last minute trips. So Royal Caribbean is recognizing this, and they're making a shift towards last minute cruise bookings and rethinking how the loyalty program works. So if you're a traveler and you're looking to book closer to that travel date, be flexible and you're going to get some great deals. And be on the lookout what's going to happen with the loyalty program, because it's going to, based on what the people are telling me within Royal Caribbean, it's going to be more of an experience-based loyalty program. What exactly that means, I don't know, but it's a buzzword in the industry today. Everything is experience-based, right? I talked about how Airbnb in the summer released their services. Why? To enhance the guest experience. I talked about Spirit going into the premium market, right? Why? To enhance the guest experience. So you're seeing that over and over with all these companies in the travel industry, that they're leaning towards that guest experience, or that enhanced guest experience. Another reason why I think everyone is doing this is because today with AI, there's a lot you can do with AI as it relates to travel to enhance your travel experience. I've been using it for a while, and I can tell you, you can really curate some really nice travel plans just using AI, right? Now, I think that's all I have for today. Let's make sure I have this up. Just a couple of reminders. Don't forget about the ebook. If you're a short-term rental operator, that ebook is available. The link is going to be in the description, or go to my Instagram. It's in my bio. If you're in South Florida and you need a place to stay, call me. Don't book any other place. Book with me. And if you're interested in renting an e-bike, also call me. And lastly, I want to give a shout out to my new YouTube channel, What Hustle. We've been on 21 or 22 days, I believe, and that channel is taken off. So those that followed me and subscribed me on that channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because that is a new project that's been taking a lot of my time, and it's a project that I am extremely passionate about. I am in love with these e-bikes. And the last thing I'm going to say about the e-bikes is that I just became an authorized dealer for the Eora bikes. If you're interested in an e-bike, DM me. I'm going to get you a great deal on a bike that I believe every household should have. Anyway, love you guys. For the rest of your evening, and I will see you on the next one.